Today here on the show, we're going to talk about technology, very broad field, but to break it down just a little bit, technology is there to help us in the good times, but it's really there to help us through the bad times. And we've all been going through a lot of stuff lately, but technologically it may be better than before because of guys like the guest that we have here today for specific industries especially. The name of the company we're chatting with today is iOpen Innovations, Mr. iOpen Innovations himself, and our guest today on All In, Don Bahlman, right here on the show. Don, welcome to the show, man. How are you?
Thank you. Great. Thanks for having me.
I love the name iOpen Innovations. Is there a story there?
A little bit. That's actually a placeholder that was never supposed to stick. But you know what? We were putting our company together and ideas, and had to put a working title together. And I'm like, well, let's go with it. And people liked it, and it stuck. So.
I think it kind of stands out. I applaud you for that.
Thank you.
So before we get into iOpen, let's back up just a little bit to the technological side, because before there was an iOpen, there was still a Don in the technological field. Yeah. Give me a little background on you real quick.
Well, I've been very blessed to work for some pretty high-profile projects and companies, interact with companies. I've done stuff for IBM. I've been really, really privileged to work with Mayo Clinic. Those guys are just super great people up there. Projects with Port of Rotterdam, and just doing visual simulations and really cutting edge stuff. I worked for a company in the 90s here in Dallas that we were cutting edge on VR basically. So we were doing stuff that before it was like a household term, and it was a lot of fun, and it got great exposure on CNN and Discovery Channel and some places like that. So great times, great memories, super smart people. So yeah, I've been in technology for a while.
So are you one of these people that you spent a big portion of your life working with others, but it was in the back of your mind thinking, someday I want to do it on my own?
I've always had that itch. I've had that itch since I was probably 18, 19 years old.
Good for you.
And just, not the right moment, not the right time. And had a couple of startups. In video games, actually. We did a publisher in 2005 to 2010, published a game, and had great time with it. But yeah, this is like, I think everything aligned for this, and so it seems like the right time. So
what is the right time? When did you get started? When did this become to fruition, became a real thing, more than an itch?
Yeah. No, that's a good question. So in 2015, late 2015, I saw the technology and the infrastructure really come into play, into where it was enough where we could build something, and so that's really where we started. 2016, late 2016, I formed the company with some friends of mine. My wife is co-founder. And so we began to see a need, and we began to see the tools that could address that need. And so we started off with that. And I tell you, in 2018, late 2018, we had a kind of a show and tell at our office, and we had a neighbor, ER surgeon, come over, and she's looking at what we're doing, and she goes, Don, this is nice, but you know what I really want to know? And she was traveling quite a lot. Subbing at different hospitals. She says, what I really want to know is when I open that door to my hotel room, I want to know that I'm safe. I want to know nobody's inside that room. Now she was a very petite Asian lady.
Sure.
Now I'm a big hairy guy, and I never think about stuff like that, ever. I'm thinking about where's the remote, I'm going to turn on some sports or History Channel and just crash. But her set of concerns was completely different than mine. So
interesting.
We started researching that. And in 2019, we made a huge pivot, and we went after this because we really saw a genuine need that needs to be filled, and we saw the tools of technology able to fill that need.
So that's when you twisted your entrepreneurial career towards the field of hospitality.
Absolutely.
So how's that been received with the different hotels and whatnot, chains?
So that's a great question. So it's sometimes very slow to be received because traditionally hotels have been very traditional and haven't really wanted to they haven't really wanted to embrace technology so much, and so they have their set of routine, and they're very good to know, every T is crossed, every I is dot. Every day they do this routine, and it works. And then all of a sudden COVID-19 hits.
Yeah, bingo.
And everything changed. Everything changed.
In that industry, maybe more than any.
Absolutely, yeah. The travel industry has really taken a hard hit, and I think you're right. Even more than the airline industry, hospitality has just been ground zero. I mean, we've seen some hotels with occupancies of like 70% go down to like 7%.
Yes.
And one hotel in particular I'm thinking of right here in Dallas. So but nationwide, not just nationwide but worldwide, everything got shut down. So.
Well, and how are we getting through this? I mean, for you, obviously it impacted your business. Things are coming back just a little bit, and I'm going to jump on down here for a second because I want to get this in. I think it's fascinating. You have been able to go even a step further. The safety stuff that you can put in place is there not just for the guests but for the staff as well.
Yeah.
But not even related to that safety, you're able to incorporate your technology for first responders.
Yeah.
Go into that, what you're doing with first responders.
So the basics of the technology is very simple. We're putting sensors in rooms that guarantee absolute privacy for the guests. So there's no cameras, no heat maps. We're just sensing, is there presence, is there not presence? We share that with the hotel, we share that back to the guests, but then imagine, if you're in a hotel, maybe it's an older hotel, you've got a gas line that breaks, or someone smells gas, or you've got something that would cause first responders to need to evacuate that building. They've got to make sure that everybody is out. Our system can, at a glance, on an iPad, on a phone, at glance, show which rooms still have guests and which rooms don't.
Wow.
And so I'll tell you a real quick story. I was in a hotel in Toronto a couple of years ago, and 5:30 in the morning, all the alarms went off.
Oh no.
And I'm on the 15th floor. It's late winter, foot of snow outside, and it's snowing, and it's cold, and it's dark. Nobody wants to get up at 5:30, especially when you're not sure it's a real alarm. So I'm in the lobby and I'm looking around. I'm like, there's not enough people in the lobby for this hotel. And so I thought about that, and this kind of grew into that idea. If we could see who's still in their room, and the first responders were there, and they were great. But for those guys, shaving seconds off or minutes off of their job, that could save real lives.
It's everything.
Yeah.
So it's just fascinating, the stuff that you're able to do, and how everything keeps changing. Everything keeps changing for you, but that's what technology do.
It is. It should be flexible, and technology is like having a set of Legos. The more you have, the more you can build.
Right, and you can switch the pieces around and build something else out of the same pieces.
Yeah.
A lot of times you're not having to reinvent the wheel, if you will. You're taking the existing wheel and changing the spokes around and rolling in a different direction.
Absolutely, yeah. There's a term for that. It's called Symphony, and Dan Pink wrote a book, and he talks about this and being able to see apparently unrelated things, but see how they would connect, and you basically form a new product out of that. And so that's kind of what we've done with this.
Well, it's like Teflon on the heat shields of spacecraft, and now I can cook scrambled eggs on it.
Absolutely, right?
Wasn't the original intent, but here we go. So can you let us peek behind the curtain, maybe something coming up that you're looking at doing, or?
Yeah, so right now we're debuting this. We're over 2020. We've our strategy has been to just get through 2020 and survive. The market is coming back. It's very spotty right now. So basically we're really offering this as a pilot program for hotels, and any early adopters, any hotels that would love or would like to test this out in our hotel, we'll do a pilot for absolutely free.
Well, why wouldn't they do that? I mean, why wouldn't they do it? Now's the time to do it. Any hoteliers out there watching, you need to get a hold of Don, because he's there for you, for your staff, for your guests, for the first responders who you hope never need, but if you do, you want to make sure they're able to take care of their job.
Yeah.
Don, fascinating stuff. I appreciate you sharing it with us today. I mean, you've had a great career, and you know what? I think you're just getting started in a lot of ways.
We're having a lot of fun.
Thanks for sharing your story with us. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Folks, thank you as well. Appreciate you as always, and don't run off. We're going to be right back.